Hey guys, welcome to Cahaba Tunes. My name is Russ. I'm coming at you from lovely Birmingham, Alabama. In today's first episode, I'll be going over the Vinyl Tag 2021. If you're not familiar with the Vinyl Tag, it's a list of 20 topics or questions that Andrew over at Tales from the Crate has put together. He usually each year puts these together for the vinyl community, and I thought this would be a good way for me to introduce myself to the VC. Let's get into it. Number one, a discovery in 2020. So I subscribe to the Jazz Shepherd, Dan, and earlier last year he showcased this album and did a needle drop on one of the tracks. And I'm referring to Judah Hip with Zoot Sims. What a great record. This is one of the few Blue Note 80s that's in mono. And Kevin Gray remastered this. Sounds great. So if you don't have this in your collection, check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. An artist that I was familiar with, but was not familiar with this album, of course, Ballads. Sorry for the glare. What a lovely album. Great sound on this. But this is one that I was not familiar with that I have really taken a liking to. So check this out if you haven't already. All right, question two, a quarantine buy. Just thought what a better way to spend the beginning part of the pandemic by looking for a Christmas record. So found Elvis's Christmas album. This was pretty cool. It's on green wax, so sounds pretty good. I'm still looking for an OG copy of this. I know those are kind of tough to find, but a great Christmas album. All right, number nine, an album you have a story about. Me and my wife went to a wedding in Huntsville, Alabama, about an hour and a half north of here, back over 4 years ago. We were still just dating at the time. And after the rehearsal dinner, we went over to one of their friends' houses and heard some music playing. And so I ventured off to find out what was where the music was coming from. And in there was a Rubbermaid tub of records and a record player. And so one of the first records that I saw there in the tub was Eagles Hotel California. And I was born in 1976 and was never really exposed to records at that time, and was really into cassettes in the early to mid 80s, and then of course CDs. So I kind of bypassed records. And so that whole night I just thumbed through all the records and looked at all of the liner notes, and I was just pretty enamored with what I saw. And I knew at that point I wanted to get a record player and wanted to get into records. So 4 years later, and probably 600 or 700 records later, here we are. So this is kind of what started it off for me. Number 10, an album that needs a vinyl pressing. I'm a big Steely Dan fan, and Two Against Nature that came out in 2000. I believe it got a European pressing, but no other country got a pressing of that record. And a lot of people forget that it won Grammy Album of the Year in 2001. Listen to this competition that it had. Beck, Midnight Vultures, Marshall Mathers, Eminem, Kid A, Radiohead, and You're the One by Paul Simon. And Two Against Nature beat all those albums out. A really good record, got some great songs on it. And I would love for them to do a proper wide release vinyl pressing of that, so that would be cool. All right, the next one, number 11, common album and an uncommon album. Here's a common album, Men at Work, Business as Usual. I guess a lot of people, we've all seen this. Great album by a really cool band in the 80s, Business as Usual. Uncommon album, the Chuck Boris Trio, Grooves for Dancing. This is a group out of Florida. They were a one and done record band, and this here is basically a record of songs, of soul type songs, and really cool. This is a cool record cover too. But I found this at a Second and Charles for $3, and looked it up on Discogs, and it goes for about $60. So pretty cool find there, but cool record. And I have not seen one of these since. All right, number 12, an EP on Human League Fascination. This is a 6-song EP, so pretty cool there. All right, number 13, a girl group. Only have, I think, 2 girl groups really in my collection. For this one, I went with Expose. This is probably, Exposure. This is their probably biggest hit record or album here. Got Come Go With Me, Let Me Be the One, Seasons Change, Point of No Return. Those were their big songs off of this. All right, album cover that you love. I'm going to show these, my favorite jazz group, the Rippingtons. Really cool covers there. Guy named Bill Mayer does these, and just awesome drawings there. But they've always used the big cat on their albums, so really cool artwork on that. I like those a lot. Another record that I recently picked up. I love this album cover. Coleman Hawkins, man, look how cool he looks there. If you don't know this record, Wrapped Tight, check it out. It is a beautiful record and very smooth. So that's another cool record cover. Album you've listened to the most. Me and my wife love this record, and it's easily the one that we've listened to the most over the 4+ years that I've had records. So my beat up copy of Michael Jackson, Off the Wall. Cover's in rough shape, but the record plays great. So that's the one that we listen to quite a bit. Album you had to get an OG copy of. I watch the In Groove, Mike, the record store in Phoenix, and I also watch the Vinyl Archivist, Patrick, and they do some great shootouts of pressings, and I learned from their channels the pressing that I needed to look for Steely Dan Asia. So this looks like it's similar to this, but it is not. The record covers are exactly the same, the backs are exactly the same, but in the dead wax, one record has an AA 1006 in the dead wax, and that is a secondary pressing, and the pressing you're looking for is the AB 1006. And so my original copy of it had the AB on one side and the AA on the other side, and I could really tell a difference. And so I was looking out for a copy that had AB on both sides. So I finally scored one of those this past year. So sounds great. This is the one to look for that you won't spend a fortune for. So the AB 1006 in the dead wax of Steely Dan Asia. Last album that you purchased. Was looking on eBay for some UK Beatles pressings, and came across this one that was in Roswell, Georgia. They had it listed as the American copy, but the photos on eBay were of the UK copy. So I bid on it, and luckily there was about 5 or 6 other people that were looking at it, watching it, and they did not place a bid. And so I got a UK, this is the 3rd pressing of Abbey Road for all in taxes and everything for $18.99. So pretty sweet there. There's the UK label there. Sounds amazing. An album that they don't get. So I like big band jazz along with a lot of other genres of music, but I just don't think that people get big band that much, and they're definitely not showcased all that much on in the vinyl community. So 2 big band legends, Les Brown and Artie Shaw. A punk album, I really don't have hardly any punk. Make the City Grovel in Its Dust. And it's just a compilation of some punk and post-punk and just kind of that vein of music. And so that's the closest thing I've got to a punk record in my collection at this point. I need to get some more. And finally, favorite 2020 reissue. And so I've got two, and I'll show you two that are on opposite ends of the spectrum. A lot of people have shown this record for the tag, and it really is a great reissue. But was thrilled to see Alice in Chains Facelift get the proper reissue that it needed, and what a great record! And this thing sounds great. Look out for that. And my other favorite reissue is Chet Baker Sings. What a great record! Man, he's one of my favorite artists in jazz, and so when they released this, I jumped on it quick. But great reissue, and a lot of people have talked about it, but it really is the real deal. So there you go. I survived the vinyl tag, I think. Looking forward to making more videos. If you will, please subscribe and like the video, and look forward to meeting all of you out there. Please comment, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care.